In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to... Hey, look, it's the walking panacea. I'm more than that, okay? Let's talk about how to carry in the Guardian raid Flamefox Yoho as a Gunlancer. Gunlancer can hard carry the Flamefox Yoho fight because with a little bit of manipulation, we can make her essential mechanic work for us. So the thing about Flamefox Yoho is she's gonna be spitting flames like boom, 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 boom. And because of that, we take a lot of burn damage. If you look at the stacks here, every time you get a stack of this burn damage, you're gonna be taking way more damage. However, with some of these attacks, you actually get a buff alongside it. This is called the Burning Soul buff, which will give us a damage increase to make the fight much easier. So ideally, the strategy of the fight is to get as much uptime on the buff as possible while minimizing the debuff. The way normal non-Gunlancer plebeians do this is with a panacea. But as a Gunlancer, we actually have the opportunity to become a walking panacea by taking the Shout of Purification tripod on Gnolacere's energy. Not only will this remove the debuff on ourselves, but also our team, so they will love us for this. Hey, you got any more of those Gnolacere energy cleanses, bro? Considering the fact that Gnolacere's energy is on a 40-second cooldown, this will also be able to be used more often than a panacea because you can only bring 3 to a fight, unless you're a psychopath and you run back to the base, but like who does that? So because Gnolacere energy affects your whole entire team, I would suggest changing a game UI setting so that you can actually see your teammates' debuff stacks as well. So the way you would do this is open up your settings, go to the gameplay menu, select the controls and display tab, search for the show combat/pets section, and change the drop-down menu to include buff effects of party members. Now, the most important thing to understand is that not all of Flamefox Yoho's abilities will give you the buff. The easiest way to get this buff is when Yoho breathes fire in front of her. All you do is stand in that blast of fire and you get the buff. Secondly would be through the fireballs that Yoho shoots out. Generally, we've been trained to do dodge mechanic please, but in this situation, we actually want to get hit by 3 of those fireballs so that we can get the buff. Lastly is going to be the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire will give the person with the lowest amount of HP the buff. As a Gunlancer, we really aren't going to be in a situation where we have the lowest amount of HP, so we can stay in the fight. It's not a big deal. Gnolacere's energy is going to be the most influential part of this fight for us. However, there's still some other things we can do to make this fight even easier. Starting off with countering Flamefox Yoho whenever we can. Like all other bosses, Yoho's counterattack spot will be at her head. She's gonna do a charge attack that looks like this. There's no real tell for this other than a tiny little nod that she does. So my biggest suggestion here would make sure that your positioning is always at the front and also holding dash upper fire for that perfect moment where you can land the counter. Took a little bit of practice for me. I missed a bunch, but once you get it down, it's really helpful. If you're an absolute gamer, you can use bash to counter as well, but I can't. Anyways, next we want to make sure we're passing the stagger checks. Regardless of whether you're red or blue, we're going to be dishing out a butt ton of stagger damage. So we want to make sure we pass every stagger check that we can. So once again, it's going to look kind of counterintuitive where Yoho is going to charge up a ability and glow red. Your natural gamer sense is going to be like, whoa, spooky, glowing red, run away. But in reality, this is where you want to pull out your Gunlancer card and just start bashing on her. If you successfully land the stagger, then your team is going to have such an easy time because you'll just do so much damage and mitigate so much damage. And then lastly, you want to make sure you're using Shout of Hatred to cancel as many abilities as possible. This is a little more advanced because you have to understand Yoho's abilities in order to do this properly. By this, I mean she has a lot of immunes, quick attacks, and teleports. So there's lots of opportunity to just straight up miss. But generally, you want to cancel her tail bash as well as her tail spin. Those are the ones I found myself predicting the most. So hopefully with this knowledge, you can carry Flamefox Yoho. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like. Peace.